McKinsey 7S Framework, Organizational Alignment for Change by Tom Peters, Robert Waterman Jr., McKinsey and Company. The McKinsey 7S framework was developed in the late 1970s by Tom Peters and Robert Waterman Jr. while working at McKinsey and Company. It became one of the most prestigious organizational analysis tools in corporate leadership because it showed that business change succeeds only when all major internal elements are aligned together. Have you ever seen an organization create a brilliant new plan, a new vision, a new target, a new restructuring program, and yet months later, the business still feels confused? Leaders are frustrated, departments are disconnected, employees are uncertain, results remain inconsistent. On the surface, everyone appears busy, but underneath, something is not working, because organizations do not usually fail because of one isolated problem. They fail because too many internal parts are moving in different directions. This is exactly what McKinsey recognized. They discovered that leaders often focus on changing one visible area, a new strategy, a new reporting line, a new technology system, while forgetting that organizations are living systems. And if the internal elements are not aligned, performance suffers. So they created a framework of 7 connected organizational forces. These became known as the 7 S's: strategy, structure, systems, shared values. Style, staff skills, a complete model for understanding whether an organization is truly built to support change. Because change does not happen when one thing improves, it happens when everything important begins working together. The core idea of the McKinsey 7S framework. At the heart of McKinsey 7S is one powerful truth. Teams and organizations do not fail because of one isolated problem. They fail because the internal elements are out of alignment. What does this mean? You can have talented staff, but poor systems. You can have good strategy, but weak leadership style. You can have clear goals, but the wrong skills. You can have strong values, but a confusing structure, so performance suffers. McKinsey argued, high performance happens when all 7 internal elements work together. When they support each other, execution becomes smoother, communication becomes clearer, resistance becomes lower, and change becomes sustainable. So what is the impact? McKinsey 7S helps leaders stop fixing single symptoms and start aligning the whole organization. S1, strategy. The first S is strategy. This is the organization's long-term direction. Where are we going? What are we trying to achieve? How will we compete and grow? Because without strategy, people stay active but unfocused. A business can work hard every day and still drift. So, what is the impact? Strategy gives the organization a clear destination. S2, structure. The second S is structure. This is how the organization is arranged, who reports to who, how do departments connect, where are decisions made, because even a strong vision can become slow and chaotic if the structure creates confusion. Too many layers create delays. Poor communication lines create silos. Unclear accountability creates frustration. So, what is the impact? Structure determines how smoothly the organization can execute its strategy. S3, systems. The third S is systems. These are the everyday procedures, workflows, meetings, approvals, and operational routines. How does work actually get done? Because leaders cannot ask for innovation, while old systems keep everyone trapped in outdated habits. Systems either accelerate performance or quietly suffocate it. So what is the impact? Systems turn big plans into daily reality. S4, shared values. This is the center of the entire model. Shared values are the beliefs, principles, and cultural norms the organization lives by. What do people really stand for? What behaviors are rewarded? What mindset is normal? Because culture always shapes behavior more powerfully than policy documents. If people do not believe in the direction, they will not fully support it. So, what is the impact? Shared values create the cultural glue that holds change together. S5. Style. Style means leadership style. How do leaders behave? How do they communicate? Do they create trust or fear? Do they encourage initiative or dependency? Because employees mirror leadership behavior every day. Leadership style sets the emotional climate of the business. So, what is the impact? Style shapes how people feel while trying to deliver change. S6. Staff. Staff refers to the people themselves. Do we have the right people? Are they engaged? Are they placed effectively? Because strategy on paper means nothing if the organization does not have people capable of delivering it. So, what is the impact? Staff determines whether the business has the human capacity to move forward. S7. Skills. The final S is skills. What core competencies exist inside the organization? Do employees have the expertise required for future demands? Do managers know how to lead in the new environment? Because businesses often expect new outcomes without developing new capabilities. So, what is the impact? Skills ensure the organization is able, not just willing, to change. Why McKinsey 7 matters in leadership. Leaders often attack the most visible issue: poor sales, change strategy, slow performance, add software, confusion, restructure teams. But McKinsey reminds us, single fixes rarely solve systemic problems, because if the other 6 elements stay misaligned, the same difficulties reappear. This is why the McKinsey 7 framework is so powerful in leadership. It forces leaders to step back and ask, what else inside this organization is not supporting the change? Real workplace example. Imagine a company launches a major digital transformation. New software is introduced. Leadership expects efficiency, but employees struggle. Why? Because strategy changed, but skills were not developed. Systems changed, but style remained controlling. Structure stayed too bureaucratic. Shared values still rewarded old habits. So the technology investment underperforms. The problem was not the software. The problem was misalignment. Advantages and limitations of McKinsey 7S. Advantages: excellent whole organization diagnostic tool, prestigious executive framework, helps identify hidden alignment issues, supports sustainable change planning, integrates culture with operations. Limitations: can feel complex for smaller teams, requires honest internal assessment, does not provide a step-by-step change sequence. Leaders may underestimate the softer elements. Still, its greatest strength is this: it forces leaders to see the business as an interconnected system, where it is used today. McKinsey 7S is widely used in corporate restructuring, mergers and acquisitions, culture transformation, leadership redesign, strategic planning, large-scale organizational change, anywhere alignment matters. This model remains highly respected. Key lesson. McKinsey teaches leaders something crucial. You cannot create lasting change by improving only one part of the business. If strategy says one thing, systems do another, leaders behave another way, and staff are equipped for something else, the organization stalls. True performance comes when the internal elements begin moving together. Because alignment creates momentum. Momentum creates execution. Execution creates transformation. So ask yourself, is your organization failing because of one visible issue or because too many invisible elements are disconnected? Take a moment, pause and reflect. Grab a pen, pencil it down. Strategy, structure, systems, shared values, style, staff, skills. Then ask, which of these 7 areas is most out of alignment in the organizations I know? I hope this brought value to you, and I'm wishing you abundant success. Take a moment, pause for thought. What would you like to learn and explore next?